Okay, everyone say hi to Brady. Right. Find the inverse function, which is f to the -1 notation of each function called f. Find the range of the regular function called f and the domain and range of our newfound inverse function f to the -1. All right, so how do we even find the inverse function? Where do we start? Switch x and y. You're right. F of x, it's y. So now we're going to write that as what? X. So x equal 3 times cosine. It used to be x, is now what? Y plus 1. Can you see your normal functions is restricted from where to where? 0 to pi. Okay, it's from 0 to pi. Now, what do you think that is? Yeah. So now that okay, so that's the domain for the f of x. If you are writing an inverse function, what do you think that's going to be? The range. So restricts, so the y can only now be between 0 and pi. So that will be now the range. And down the bottom, when we write range, we're going to put that back. Okay, so what are you going to do now that you switch x and y? You had to isolate y. You're right. So here we go. -1, -1. Go ahead and finish that up and Tran-Bloom. Hey. Are you going through the apps way? Okay, my students this morning when they went through the apps, they could not load it. So the kids, so it's only half of the kids are able to load? Huh. Because the other half of the kids that aren't able to load, can you tell them to power down and log into Canvas not using apps the normal way? Because this morning that worked for my students. So try that and call me back if it doesn't work. Okay, bye. Sorry, we're having edulastic issues. Okay. You guys know, have you guys ever taken tests on edulastic? Yeah. Okay. We're having some issues with that. Okay. X minus 1 equals 3 cosine of y. What's your next move? Divided by 3. Okay. So x minus 1 all over 3 equals cosine of y. How would you get rid of cosine here? Yes. Okay. So what that mean, class? You're going to compose both sides by cosine inverse. That's how you're able to get rid of it. Okay. When you compose it, you put it in the front. So as you can see, these two, the cosine inverse and cosine on the right-hand side, will cancel. So you end up with y, and then this side is now written like this. And we'll box that up. That's our inverse function. Better yet, write that using this notation, so we know for sure that's an inverse function. Okay. Kara?
Instead of writing with the inverse cosine, can you put secant?
No. Good question. Okay. Great question. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Okay, not an inverse. What's the difference? What's the difference in the word reciprocal and an inverse?
Doesn't the inverse just flip the sides while the reciprocal flips the sides while the inverse is like the negative and positive.
Okay, so let me give you 5. Oops, not highlighter. Like number 5. What's the reciprocal?
1 over 5.
What's its inverse?
-5.
-5. So they are two different concepts. Okay. Then we're done with that. Find the range of f. So what's the range of f? Range of f. The range of f. Close. Remember, the range of f is the y value, right? Let's start with the parent. Okay. So we'll box that up, but I'm going to do the work down here. The parent has a range of what? From where to where? -1 to 1. Can you see your f function has what in front of it? The 3. What does that really do? It's a vertical stretch. It's an amplitude, right? So with the 3 in the front, what does that do?
It increases the
From where to where?
negative 3 to
-3 to 3. What else do you have? A +1. What kind of transformation is that? What kind of transformation is +1? It's not in the quantity, so you can't say it's horizontal. Vertical translation, up. It's not in the quantity, so you can't say that it would be a horizontal. So if I go up, I'm sorry, this is -3 to 3. Sorry, fix that. So if I go up by 1, what is it now? -2 to 4. So that's your range of f. Okay. Now I have everything I need to find the domain and range of inverse. Would you guys agree with that? Yes or no? D of f inverse. What is D of f inverse now? Domain of f inverse. Is it? Yeah, it is the range of f, which is -2 to 4. What is the range of f inverse, which we already knew from the very get-go? 0 to pi inclusive. You're right. Okay. So these are the things that they wanted us to find, and we did find them. If you need to move closer to see, feel free to move. The 2 desks in front of you are pretty empty. Okay. All right, let's try B. Why don't you find the inverse for B? And then we'll see if you can. So the C is sine, so it takes care of all of the shape functions for 7-1. 7-2 is the same exact thing, except we'll be dealing with cosecant, secant. You can talk to your friends. Don't be, when you're working, thinking, sometimes you can think better by communicating. Tran-Bloom? Hi. Let me, okay, we call Leanne last time we discussed it.
Yeah. Or like, not like.
Yeah, she's going to, she has a better. Oh, okay. All right, Sammy, what's your first move, Sammy? So did you, so x equals, tell me what you wrote on the first step. Good, okay. All right, step number 2. Sierra, step number 2, what did you do? So x plus 3 equals tangent of 2 times tangent of y. Then Sierra said, I'm going to go divide by 2. By the way, if you don't like divide by 2, can I multiply by half? Yeah. And sometimes that's easier to do for some of us, and that's okay. You pick a system that you want to go with. It doesn't bother me. All right, so this is 1/2 times x plus 3 equals tangent of y. So you're going to compose tangent inverse to both sides. What do you guys end up with? F inverse is now what? Tangent inverse of x plus 3 divided by 2, or you can write the 1/2 in the front with the quantity. Either way, I'll take it. So box that up. It's going to ask you for the range of f. What is the range of f, class? Negative infinity all the way to infinity, because it is a tangent. It goes up forever, down forever over here, okay, on 27. Then now I need to answer the domain of f inverse, which is all real numbers. Oh, I like that. You switch it up. Range of f inverse is what? You don't have to do much work anymore. Yeah, non-inclusive, what? Non-inclusive what? Negative pi over 2 all the way to? Where did you get this? From the original. They gave you this from the original, okay? So that means they gave you the domain of f already, so you just have to use it and switch it to this. Okay. Why don't you try C on your own? I'll give you guys, you and your team, 3 minutes. Try C from beginning to end, and then I'll call you again to help me.
I'm gonna run to Mrs. Boyd to see her stuff.
No, she's, yeah.
Oh no.
The range is that.
Yeah. It's the same as the range of that.
She forgot to hit C. She hit so
Anyway.
in the top.
It's not released.
They give you the domain function. So then like when you get to the
All right, here you go. We're just going to switch x and y. So x equals 3 times sine of 2y. Can you see the restriction for this one is slightly different from the restriction for sine inverse? Someone tell me why is... Remember, sine inverse was restricted from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. This one's slightly smaller. Yeah, there's a b value of 2. That means it's horizontally compressing it by a half. So now it's only from an... Okay, let's solve. Divide both sides by 3. So it's now x divided by 3 equals sine of 2 times y, quantity. Then we are now going to compose both sides by sine inverse. Okay. Then that will give me 2y equals sine inverse of x divided by 3. You cannot divide by 2 before taking the sine inverse. You got to take the sine inverse first. Then can I now take both sides by a half? For this one, I prefer that you multiply by a half, so that way it stays in front of the sign, because then you'll have a better understanding what that is. This half in the front class is now vertical compression by a half. Okay. If you divide everything by 3, not all of us would know what transformation that is. In the original function f, it was a horizontal compression by a half. So when you do its inverse, then it has to be a what? A vertical compression by a half. So that's why they are switching x and y and y for x. Then we need to state the range, oops, not highlighter. The range of our original. Okay, raise your hand, you can give me the final answer, the range of original.
-3 to 3.
-3 to 3 inclusive. Where did you get that from? Why not -1 to 1?
Because there was the original vertical stretch.
Perfect. There's no vertical translation, so I don't have to add or subtract anything. So -3 to 3. That means I can easily get the domain of f inverse, right, class? Also, -3 to 3. Then I can also get the range of f inverse without any work at all. From where to where? Negative pi over 4 all the way to pi over 4. I know I was out. Who got it all right? Okay, cool. Is 5 the last example of the 7-1? Yeah, okay. Let's do 5. Find the exact solution. That means no calculator. No calc. Here we go. What are you going to do first? Divide by 2. Can I multiply by half? Yep, it's up to you. Okay. Either way, you're going to be just fine. Cosine inverse of x equals pi over 4. What's your next step? Solve by composing both sides with what? Cosine. Okay, because you're solving for x, so that means you have to get up x. So compose both sides by cosine. So now you really have x equals to cosine of pi divided by 4. Ooh, Is that a nice number? Yeah, what's x? Rad 2 over 2, and that's perfect. Okay, you try B. Oh, by the way, how about this? B and C, which one's easier? B? B's easier? Okay, you try B. I'll let you do the easier one. Once you have an answer, can you share it with your partner? Oh, you're right. Sorry, I wrote on the whiteboard rad 2 over 3, but it's rad 2 over 2. We said rad 2 over 2, and I wrote it wrong. Once you have an answer, can you share with your people? Yi, what's your final answer?
-1.
-1. Leo, what's your final answer?
-1.
Okay, good. And Jordan, what's your final answer?
-1.
Alisa, what's your final answer? Okay, let's see. Divide both sides by -4, so tangent inverse of x equals pi over -4, or negative pi over 4. Compose both sides, so x equals tangent of regular negative pi over 4, which is in quad 4?
Yes.
Okay, -1. All right, last one. If this is on the test, how would you execute this? Can I combine like terms?
Yes.
Yeah, move things around. Okay, so subtract 2 sine inverse from both sides. -2 sine inverse. At the same time, can I add 2 pi from both sides? Yep. All right, let's see what it's going to give us. It will give us 3 sine inverse of x equals, on this side, what do we get? -pi. Awesome. Then divide both sides by 3. So sine inverse of x equals -pi over 3. Then compose both sides by regular sign. So x equals regular sign is now -pi over 3. Do we have an answer? What's the answer? In quad 4, so negative rad 3 over 2. Okay, anyone disagree with? All right, go ahead and grab a book, start your homework.